When Final Fantasy VII released in 1997, it shipped on 3 PlayStation compact discs, which could each hold around 650 megabytes of data, most likely due to the impressive FMV cutscenes and enormous soundtrack. The game opens with a close-up of the gentle flower girl Aerith before zooming out to an establishing shot of our starting city of Midgar, then jumping straight into the action. Final Fantasy VII can be credited as one of the biggest games that brought the appeal of Japanese role-playing games to the mainstream, and cementing the Final Fantasy series' place as an industry juggernaut. It did this by simply being an excellent game. It helped that it was a technical marvel at the time, but being an early PS1 game and comparing it to what came afterward on 5th generation consoles, some would say that that merit no longer stands. It's a good thing therefore that its story, characters, gameplay, music, pacing and many other aspects stand a cut above the rest. Unlike many other JRPGs, it takes around 5 hours to actually get out of the starting area onto the world map to explore the rest of the world. That's because Final Fantasy VII takes its time in the beginning, getting you to know the characters in the present, so it makes an impact when they reveal their past. You'll often take a break from the action, sit down in a bar or an inn and just talk with the party. What's going on in the world? How can we make society better for the slum's lower class? The game's story focuses on both the struggles of oppression and the immediate struggles of the loved ones around you. Which of the game's many villains are truly evil? The story doesn't lead you down paths which are never tied up, which is impressive considering just how many different plots are interwoven. All of the plot twists make sense and shock. All of the tragedies hurt. Every single party member has given their own section of narrative, clearly showing a believable motivation to join the cause. And I can't forget the main villain, Sephiroth, who is one of the calmest, coldest and coolest villains in the entire series. There's so much to say about the story, it's truly astonishing how much Final Fantasy VII nails in that department. The game even manages to incorporate strange tongue-in-cheek humour using the game's medium of a video game. Like when Cloud mocks Barret by teaching him how to use materia while simultaneously teaching the player. And how he can find a secretly hidden measly 5 gil and steal it from a child. The super serious narrative is often broken up by silly little moments like this, allowing you to remember, hey, this is just a fun game. It also helps that this game has little minigame sections, which was started in Final Fantasy VI but was more fleshed out in this game. At the start of the game, Final Fantasy VII's combat seems like your standard turn-based RPG, but it's the introduction of the materia system that makes the game unique. All of your abilities besides attacks and items are assigned by equipping your party members with materia. This includes offensive and defensive magic, stealing, learning enemy skills, summons, as well as passive abilities. The materia system allows you to mix and match the traits of classic Final Fantasy jobs onto any of the game's characters. Some materia is better suited for specific characters, but since the stat boosts are quite minuscule, you can pretty much get away with whatever you want. Materia levels up as you go. That lightning materia that you start the game off with will be much stronger when you finish the game. Final Fantasy VII also introduces the powerful and well-animated limit breaks, unique to each character. Tunnel vision into the end of Final Fantasy VII could take around 30 plus hours, but there's plenty more to do in the game than just finishing it. There are huge optional side quests that will unlock new cutscenes and even 2 optional party members. These 2 party members both have their own complete stories that can be totally missed. There are towns that you don't have to explore and minigames that you don't have to play, but if you so choose, playing the game to its fullest will net you some great worthwhile rewards. It's not necessary at all, and there's more than enough to do in the story alone. However, for those wanting a little more, Final Fantasy VII's side content is anything but tacked on. Lastly, Final Fantasy VII's soundtrack is in a masterclass. Each character has their own theme which fits with their personality and shows why they stand out as part of a unique roster. Not just the music, but the sound effects are something truly memorable. Just think of a moment in this game where you haven't saved in a while, you finally make it to that distant question mark, and when you finally hit circle to record your progress, that little save chime sends you into a world of relief. And there is of course the 7-minute epic track that accompanies one of the best final bosses in RPG history. For these reasons, I believe Final Fantasy VII worthy to be placed into the Hall of Game. Thanks for watching another episode of Hall of Game, and as always, for every Saturday I'll be streaming the induction of the Hall of Game, playing the game for a little bit, chatting with people about why I enjoy the game, and from now on, every Saturday it's going to be at 3 PM UK time. That's the set schedule for the Hall of Game. So come on by if you want to see me stream some Final Fantasy VII and give a preview of next week's Hall of Game. Anyway, as always guys, have fun playing video games.